Hi, today I want to talk to you about a spelling curriculum, an Orton-Gillingham curriculum called How to Teach Spelling, and why I decided on it over other curriculums out there that are marketed more heavily. I have tried other programs in the past with different children. I have 6 boys, and I've tried Spell to Write and Read. It took way too long for me with as many children as I have to keep that up long term. So I've been looking for a new curriculum lately as more than one of my children are needing help with spelling. And I have looked far and wide for choices for Orton-Gillingham methods of teaching spelling. And I decided on How to Teach Spelling after I'd narrowed it down to this curriculum and all about spelling. And today I would like to tell you why, because there is not a lot of material out there explaining to people how to use this program, and there's not a lot of information about it on the web that I was able to find. So first of all, why did I choose How to Teach Spelling? Well, first of all, I chose How to Teach Spelling because it's more economical. It's less expensive than a lot of other programs out there. A lot of programs, their Orton-Gillingham, are very expensive, and they have a lot of levels, and you generally want to start back at level 1, but I don't want to start at level 1 when I have a 12-year-old who doesn't want to be offended and treated like he's a baby because I'm putting him on the first grade level of the program, even if we do plan on speeding through it. Second of all, I chose How to Teach Spelling and thought that a benefit of it is that it is more efficient in the way that it teaches. There are 4 workbooks total, but you do not have to start a child at the beginning because it repeats itself and reviews the material over each time it goes through a workbook, but it adds more, and it's more grade level appropriate as it moves to the next workbook. So if a workbook is geared towards a certain grade level, you can grab that workbook for your child. You can get the teacher's manual, start with it. And so it's more efficient in that way because I'm not having to start at the beginning, quickly go through lots of early material to catch holes, and then continue to the level that we actually really need to work on because that's where the child is with his level of spelling. Third, and really a big deal for me, is that it's easy to teach multiple children, more so with How to Teach Spelling than it is another program or other programs out there like Spell to Write and Read or All About Spelling or different programs like that, because this program, the books are good for a range of grades. Book 1 is first grade, book 2 is second and third. I plan on using book 2 with my second grader, my upcoming second grader. Technically, he's still a first grader, but it's the end of the school year. And also, I'm going to use it with my 4th grader, who is going to be a 5th grader next year because he's really struggling with spelling, and so I think book 2 would be appropriate for him. Now, my older boys that are going to be 6th and 7th grade next year, we're going to use book 3, and both those boys will be in the same book, so I will only have to teach 2 spelling lessons. Sometimes I might even be able to combine them, and that's going to be good for 4 kids. That's great for me because I don't have time to teach 4 spelling lessons every day. And other programs, you might be able to combine your kids, but it requires more tweaking from what I've read online in different forums, and it gets a little more hairy. So with this program, I think for our situation, it would be a lot easier to work with, and it would get done rather than sit on my shelf because it is something that I can put my kids together with. So those are the reasons I chose How to Teach Spelling. I'm going to make another video explaining to you how to use it because for a while I held off on wanting to purchase it because I couldn't figure out how to wrap my head around how the program works. So I'm going to show you that in the next video. But the last thing I wanted to explain is that these workbooks are not meant to be used necessarily all in one school year. For example, book 2, which I will be using with my younger set, it has 39 lessons in it. So those lessons, you could think of them, for people who are familiar with All About Spellings, you could think of them as steps instead of lessons. You don't do a workbook page and then the next day go to the next one and the next day go to the next one. If you did that, your child wouldn't have time to absorb the information in the book. So you could use a lesson for a week. So that would be 39 weeks of instruction, assuming that your child is able to master what they need to master during that time. So you could break the information in half and do 20 lessons the first year that you use the book, and then the second year you could do 19 lessons, or you could just go straight through and go year round until you use the next book. That's up to you. Book 3 has 49 lessons, and so that's much more appropriate to break over a period of, say, 2 school years. And so when you look at the cost of the program, you can think that you can use these workbooks for more than just 1 school year. So there are 4 levels, but you don't necessarily have to buy a level of workbook every year. You also don't have to start at book 1. So if your child's older, you don't have to work through as many levels, because the material reviews itself and repeats itself, and you will still get all the information your child needs to know in order to be able to spell well with an Orton-Gillingham program. And so I would like to also let you know I'm using this to teach spelling. I'm not using it for spelling and reading, and to use this method of spelling to teach my child to read. I tried that with SWR, and we did not have the best success for that. And so I am using this primarily to teach spelling and spelling only. So if you're looking for something to teach spelling and reading, this might be that, well, I mean, it might be possible with this curriculum, but that's not what the curriculum was designed for, and that's not how I'll be using it. So I hope this was helpful. If you're interested in how to use the curriculum and how I plan to be putting it together, I'll walk you through the books and the workbooks and the teacher's manual, and show you some of the things that I plan on doing if you were looking for some ideas in the next video. You have a good day.